over our basic strikes, a couple singles teros. All right, I'm gonna show you some Carenza. Okay, Carenza means blade dance. It's essentially like a shadow boxing or a free flow. All right, I get a lot of people asking me about my Carenza because I've got it to where it's very multi-dimensional. And what I found is that I like to pick from the best of people and work it into my mechanics. All right. So we talked about like you know, the Cinco Teros, which is the 5 strikes. Okay. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whenever we're working into Carenza, you kind of want to optimize those same kind of responses. All right. So what I've done is I've taken you know, some of the flow that I've learned from Tujon Reinaldo. I've taken some of the combat crispness that I've learned from Nate Hill. All right, I've seen martial arts like Tujon Felix Cortez, and my approach to rolling with the stick is very similar to what he taught us at one of our gatherings. All right, so you tend to take the best of everything that you see and work it into your free flow. So the way that I kind of do things is I like a lot of transitions as well, which is something I learned from Japanese style nunchaku from Shion Jeff Santella. So I like to mix it all up, and my personal energy tends to be more elastico, which is instead of being very rigid, you know, I like to utilize the mechanics of the stick, you know, so I can get out of the way, because I'm 5'8", so I don't have a lot of this going on. So I've learned how to have a little bit more utilization of principles. So this is kind of how I get into a basic Carenza. All right. So we talked about the 9 angles of cutting, so I can be working different 9 angles. All right. I like to go from there. Then we start to throw in things like, okay, Cinco's Teros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And in between there, you can start to throw in some switches. Okay, I have behind the back, which done close looks like this, right? I start to add in some rebounding techniques, okay? And I always ask myself while I'm moving, how multidimensional am I being? And I can hear Guru Nate in the back of my head yelling, go into corto, go into largo, go down, go up. Why are you standing up? Move around, do this, do that. Okay, it's not just enough to sit there and go 1, 2, right? So we look at the different ranges, okay? If I know my ranges, I should be able to blend them. So we'll start with largo, right? So if I'm working some of my largo technique and some of my switches, now I go, okay, in largo, I can go low now. Oh, some switches, oh, some switches, oh, some switches, right? Some of the switches here, okay, in between what I'm already doing. There's a Cinco's Teros, there's a Cinco's Teros, right? Now I go low, okay, so go largo. Now as I'm working my technique, I get some of those rolling techniques going on. Okay, what's another range?
Young man stuff.
Young man stuff. So corto, right? So now I can go from outside, I can bridge into my corto techniques. Puño mano, boom. 2, 3, 4, 5. I can even borrow from other styles. I can go into some Thai work, right? I can go into just straight up boxing. Okay, high, low. Blending my ranges, all right? After that, I look at medio, so I can start to work some medio techniques. And I ask myself, am I high? Am I low? Am I rolling enough? How's my energy doing? Am I going enough corto? Am I going enough range this way? Maybe I can throw in some taekwondo kicks. It's just whatever you know. Okay? Carenza is a feeling. It's not necessarily just a bunch of techniques. Every one of those moves, as I was taught by Nate Hill, is tactical. I just don't go switch because it looks cool, right? I can come through. There's my shot. There's my block. There's my switch. Now I have a roof block over here. I strike. I have an outside wing, upwards cut, right? I'm not just sitting there going, right? You have to visualize what's happening, make it make sense. Going like this because I'm grabbing the guy's head, thrusting the knees. It doesn't make sense for me to go. You know, try to bridge the gap from like what you're training into what you're going to be doing in reality. And if you always do things with that in your mind, you're always going to have only one thing to do, and that's to beat up the guy, right? So if my Carenza is in opposition to what I'm trying to learn on the street or in sparring, okay, I'm working against myself. So, boom, right? Good counter from Thai work, right? Or I can make it a puño mano entry. Where my, you know, jumps. Okay? So go ahead and try that. Just remember, it's about relaxing and starting somewhere. Make it sense. Strikes into perpetual motion, into different lines with ticks, lap ticks, abanicos, double redondos, puño shots, switching, largo, medio, corto, corto, back into largo. Now get some groundwork going on with the rolls. Okay, and just start from there. Throw whatever you can throw in there. All right, go ahead and try that out.